Are we entering a new era in higher education? We do some digging and make our MBA finals pick. And in a Piazza Research exclusive, we sit down with the Locksmiths to find out what they've been up to and who they have for the MBA finals. So, let's go. Hey everybody, welcome to Piazza Research. My name is JJ, and we'll begin today by exploring the state of higher education and narrowed focus on the undergraduate level. Now, universities have two primary mandates, and those are to provide educational services as well as conduct research in an effort to acquire new knowledge. Now, if we focus on the educational arm for this episode, and we think about its structure, the foundation is analog technology, and surrounding this foundation is new technology that acts as scaffolding. And what I mean by this is we have our mobile devices, our laptops, our computers. They're all connected to the internet, and there's plenty of broadband. Yet for some reason, you students travel to campuses to pay living expenses, to pay maintenance fees, to pay for the infrastructure of all the buildings on campus, to pay for contractors, to pay for administrators. And then you're paying for all of this to attend a lecture where you bring your mobile device anyways, you spend the majority of your time on it, and somebody gives a lecture in the background, usually a PowerPoint or sometimes even just a video itself from the internet. And this is very irrational. It doesn't make a lot of sense, and it's a very outdated way of learning. But if we take a step back and we think about why it is structured the way it is because universities have been around for hundreds of years and they predate the internet. And before the internet, the only way to acquire knowledge that already existed was to go to a library and read books, which is usually situated on a campus, or engage in discussion/debate with a professor, faculty member, or other students. And that's because the channels for communicating were very limited. In many cases, it was only option was face-to-face interaction, which explains the lecture halls and that entire dynamic. But that is not the case anymore. We are in a new era, and the monopolization of knowledge is no longer sitting with universities. In fact, there is no more monopoly on information, given what the internet is capable of doing. For example, we have the Wolfram Alpha. I think it's a project. I don't know if he's calling it a project. But we have Wolfram Alpha, which is a tremendous, extraordinary calculator and mathematical expression analyzer, equation analyzer. It gives you a detailed breakdown of everything, and it's really probably the best damn calculator software package that's free and available on the internet. We have edX and Coursera, which provide courses, certificates, and in some cases degrees, particularly in the computer science and business areas, from some of the major top tier legacy institutions that are popular still. And then you have Sailor Academy, which provides introductory coursework completely free, whereas edX and Coursera, there is pricing involved. It's very, very cheap and very affordable, but Sailor Academy is completely free, and they provide some advanced courses in computer science as well, and Bitcoin. And then you have Khan Academy, which is probably the best damn repository for knowledge in one location on the internet, with the ability to practice problems and watch videos. It's just an amazing application. And this is just the beginning, the frontier for the next wave of education that is coming. And we think the next wave of education that's coming should be a global digital network that is impartial, that has instantaneous results, and is completely, and the pricing for it would be negligible for most people and inexpensive for everyone. And I mean everyone across the planet that has access to the internet. It would be like social media for learning and knowledge. And we believe somebody will pioneer this, an entity will pioneer this, and we'll bring education down from an $80,000 price tag to, $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 price tag. But we're not trying to completely replace the legacy institutions and all of their bloated excesses, but we want to have multiple options for the variety of different people that seek education. And one way to accomplish this would be having a customized experience for a student where they're very set on learning a specific topic, for example, say cellular biology, and they want to be around the best cellular biologists, they want to be around passionate students in that area, they want to have the best structure and coursework for that major or particular discipline. Meanwhile, they still need to take the other coursework, but they can take it on a standardized route that is very, very affordable, cheap, it's simple. They still can learn the calculus, physics, philosophy, economics, mathematics, literature, all the stuff that's been around for hundreds of years, and you don't necessarily need to be at the pinnacle of expertise in those areas, but you should learn them because we should be well-rounded individuals. Everybody should be well-rounded in their education and not just know how cells work and that's it. So 2 options. Customized will be acquire more resources, more money, whereas you can still get everything you need at a negligible price. That is the vision. To go along with all of that is pop-up laboratories, like pop-up clinics, where you go to conduct experiments, learning modules, and you conduct exercises with a certified safety laboratician, whatever word you want to use. Similar to like how when you go to the library, there's librarians. And we could even renovate libraries to include amphitheaters, creative hub areas where people can come together and make content, can use their creative spirits to create whatever it is they want to create. Rather than just have books on top of books on top of books on aisles and aisles. All of that information is downloadable on the internet now and can be read and digested instantly, which is much more efficient than a library is. Although there's still value in keeping those books around, don't get me wrong, but I think we can retool and renovate many of these malls, including malls, libraries, build up clinics, laboratories. I think that's a really, really intriguing idea. And then the most important point, and the last point I'll make, is this alternative decentralized route needs to be credible, and it needs to be accepted by employers, accepted by administrations, admissions councils, as a legitimate pathway to becoming educated smart. You can demonstrate and display your abilities, your grasp of the discipline, and the stigma needs to be removed on online learning immediately. It needs to be removed immediately, and we hope it will be. That's our point of view at Piazza Research on the state of education and the future of education. If you have any insights, please let us know. If you want to contact us, go ahead. And with that, we'll take a short commercial break, and then we will see you on the other side with our pick for the NBA Finals, the data on what teams we think are the best and why we chose our team. And then we have a special guest in the Locksmiths to break down their analysis and who they have for the NBA Finals. See you then.
It's time for the main event of the evening. In the blue corner, weighing in at 120 grams, standing 14 centimeters tall, Chris, the insensitive Rock. And in the other blue corner, weighing in at 200 grams, standing 17 meters tall, Will, the sensitive Smith.
Hey there, folks. We fell out of the chair and Jerry had to help me up, but
Yeah,
we made it.
Our mic just took a little tumble.
Yeah, that's all. You were saying something, Jerry?
Jerry, I love being back in the booth with you. Man,
Oh, man.
being here for the last 2 weeks with you has been quite the experience.
Jerry, I couldn't say much more myself. You know, this has really been a surreal experience for me, Jerry.
Jerry.
Yeah, Jerry.
That makes me feel so great about just being here with you.
Just being alive, right, Jerry?
Coming to work, Jerry.
Oh, it's not work. We know it's not work. Coming here every day is like,
It's like seeing myself.
it's like dancing in dandelions.
Jerry.
Jerry. I can't. There's nothing more I'd rather do than dance in dandelions, and it's
no.
like dancing in dandelions with you, Jerry.
It is, and we're here watching these two men dance with each other.
You know, Jerry, did you know we all come from the soil? We are part of the soil, and what you eat is what you are. And right now, I have grass. I have grass in my hair. 'Cause
You do have grass in your hair.
yeah, because you know, hair is grass, skin's soil, and
Feet are your roots.
we're all plants in a way, because we give off these chemicals to indicate how much we care about each other. And if you don't release the chemicals, you die. You die. Jerry.
Jerry knows, D.
Well, you know, Jerry, if I take a look out into the ring, it looks like Mr. Smith is literally twice the size of Mr. Rock. What can you say about the advantages there?
Well, Jerry, with Will's reach over Mr. Rock, I think we're going to see an early knockout in this fight.
Yeah, well, I don't know about that. It looks like Mr. Smith actually only has one arm, and he likes to slap instead of punch. Why is that?
His big body and his hip torque allows that slappy motion to be more.
Oh, wow, yeah, I didn't even thought of that. The torque. He really knows how to use his hips. So even if he is slapping, he can really take down anybody, huh?
But Chris Rock, he could take a slap
Yeah, he can take a slap.
and put on a performance.
Are you all right there, Jerry?
No, yeah.
Jerry, look at this. This is unbelievable. They're actually stopping the fight so that they can talk things out. What is this about?
I've never seen this.
I've never
in
seen it
my
either.
whole career. Two fighters talking it out like that.
Yeah, and you've been in the business, what, couple days?
About 7 days now.
Wow, that's 6 more than I thought.
Fuck you, Jerry.
Nah, fuck you, Jerry. Maybe we should go in the ring and sell some beef.
I would get in there and I would teach you a lesson, Jerry.
You know, your wife looks like G.I. Jane, too.
Oh,
Ah, my eardrum.
and keep my wife's name out your mouth.
World champion. What's the first thing you're gonna do?
I plan on going to Piazza Research.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Piazza Research. And for those of you that don't know me, I'm a huge fan of the NBA as well as the NFL. Not so much college sports, but I do love the NBA and the NFL. And I thought we'd put together a segment on who we think is going to win the NBA Finals based on data, who we've taken and who we have bet on. And here's a breakdown of the odds according to Vegas, who they think has the best shot at winning. And they have the Phoenix Suns as the top candidate at plus 400, followed by the Brooklyn Nets, which I can't comprehend. I don't know how they came up with this figure. They've shown nothing all year that they can win it all, and they're relying on two guys to give them all of their offense. I wouldn't say that actually. They have a lot of shooting, but to give a majority of their offense. And then they have little to no defense. I just don't understand how they have them at plus 450. That's a bad bet, if anybody's wondering. Do that at the outset. Then they have the Warriors at plus 500, Sixers and Bucks at plus 700, and the Miami Heat plus 1,000, and the Utah Jazz, which I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not high on the Utah Jazz. I would ignore them at plus 1,800, Celtics plus 1,400, and then the Denver Nuggets plus 2,800. Again, they don't have Jamal Murray. They need someone like a Jamal Murray, which they don't have. And without further ado, here is our pick for the NBA Finals. We have gone with the Milwaukee Bucks at plus 650 or plus 700, depending on your sports book. And from top to bottom, they have the best roster, hands down, in the league. They got the MVP. They have the most, in our opinion, they have the best player in the league in Giannis. They have silky, smooth Chris Middleton. His jump shot is amazing. It's my favorite jump shot. He might be number 2 actually now that I've seen DeMar DeRozan, and his smoothness, man, that is a nice J. And then they got Drew Holiday, who's a ball hawk on defense. He can guard any guard. He can smother them. He can even take down Trae Young, which is really, really impressive. And he can even give you a lot on the offensive end too, which is awesome. They have Bobby Portis for energy and intensity. They got Brook Lopez, a big man that can get some blocks and do some offense for them. So from top down, their depth as well as their number 1 and 2 guys, best in the league. So easily the best roster. And then they have the chemistry. Everybody's back except they lost P.J. Tucker, which hurts, I think, a lot, actually. I'm a huge fan of P.J. Tucker, and he's on the Miami Heat now. But that's a loss. Other than that, they brought pretty much everybody back. They made a few other additions as well. And they've been playing all year, so I think they built the chemistry they need to make it all the way to the end. Giannis is one of the best leaders in the NBA, in sports. He's right there, I think. I don't want to put him in the same category. I don't like putting anybody in the same category as Tom Brady, but his leadership skills are impressive. His demeanor, his discipline, his will to win is really, really remarkable. And then they have all of the pieces they need to win. Budenholzer's a decent coach, pretty good coach actually. He made a few blunders I didn't like last year, but other than that, he's top tier coach. So we have the Milwaukee Bucks at plus 700. That's what we did. We put them for the NBA Finals plus pick at plus 700, and then we hedged our bet with taking the Milwaukee Bucks plus 300 as Eastern Conference winners, just in case somebody gets injured. Anything can happen. Injuries are possible, and that's that. A dark horse team we think is the Miami Heat. From top down, they have great depth. What they lack is a true scorer, in our opinion, and an ISO scorer, more specifically. I don't believe, I could be proved wrong, honestly. Tyler Hero is going to bring what they need in the playoffs. When defenses begin to really crank up the intensity, can Tyler Hero bring it? But overall, at plus 1,000, I think that's a good bet. They have top-tier defense, just lack of anchor, big man, and I don't think Dedmon's that guy. And Bam Adebayo is too small to be an anchor. So that's a good bet, $10. If you want to put $10 at plus 1,000, make $100. Not a bad idea. I'm not high on the Suns. Devin Booker is an amazing scorer. CP3 is really getting up there on miles on the body in age. But he's still a floor general, good defender, can give you 15, 20 points, easy. And then they have all of the guys back. They have the best chemistry, I think, in the league. They have the best leadership, or at least the equivalent level of leadership as the Milwaukee Bucks. So the Suns, but at plus 400, I'm not a fan. 76ers look great. I think they have a great tandem in Joel Embiid and James Harden. Then they have really good defenders all around. And then they're going to start playing, I forget his name, Komarkov or something like that, as a shooter, because they need shooting. They've been lacking that. And I think Tobias Harris is overpaid and underplays. We're out on Utah Jazz. I'm out on Boston Celtics. Brooklyn Nets, it's just hard to gauge them, because Ben Simmons, is he going to play? I don't know. Probably. But what does he offer? He can't shoot, but he can defend. That would be very helpful for them. Really, I think it comes down to, can they get a few stops on defense when it matters most? Most games in the NBA playoffs come down to the last few minutes, few seconds, and you need to get some stops. Can they do that? I'm unsure. Can they stay healthy? Can Kyrie and KD play all of the minutes they need to play and stay in the game all the way to the end? That remains to be seen. But yeah, that's our breakdown. And if you're curious how we came up with these ratings, we went through roster strength, we went through team health, their age, overall age, we went through their chemistry throughout the year. Have they played together 4 years? Not 4 years, but like overall for many years. And their playoff experience, and then as intangibles and leadership. And we assigned coefficients, which just means a weighting, with the highest weighting going to roster strength and team health. And this is just a quick breakdown. And here's a quick chart of probability as a percentage of their chances to win. 10.4% for the Milwaukee Bucks, based on our ratings. 9.8% for the Miami Heat. 10 and 10% for the Sixers and Warriors. Grizzlies lack experience, obviously. Really good team, but really lack experience, which will probably hurt them, and it's why they're at plus 2,500 according to Vegas. So that's what we have from a NBA Finals perspective. And let's jump over to see what the Locksmiths are doing, what they're thinking, and their picks for the NBA Finals. So let's go.
Yeah. I would say actually more than 50% of our fan base are actually haters.
Most people follow us just to hate on us.
Just to hate.
Welcome everybody to this Piazza Research exclusive, where I sit down with the Locksmiths, a tandem that specializes in sports betting. With over 100 bets under their belt and a 500 record, I asked them how it all got started, some of the challenges they have faced, and what's in store for the future. So, let's go. So I've been following you guys for a while. What was the impetus for getting started?
It all started, during quarantine, COVID years and everything. Everyone was bored, decided to pick up a hobby. And we thought, well, what do we want to spend our time doing the most? And we thought, well, we want to spend it doing doing the things we love the most. So we love sports. So we decided, hey, let's get in on this, sports betting thing. Illinois just legalized it. Let's hop on this train. Had a little success individually, and then we decided to go ahead and merge the two ideas together.
Merge two ideas? What two ideas?
Not so to say two ideas, but two separate minds together to make a perfect sporting legion, or betting legion, I should say, where we can go ahead and, what's the word I'm trying to think of? Pick each other's brains to find the best picks available on the market. And that's how the Locksmiths were started. In my opinion, at least. But Langston might have another...
So, I'm going to second chest right here.
He said like it said, like, suck it.
So I'm going to second chest right here. Okay? So we wanted to do this thing. And we did it. Okay? We did it. And we're powering through right now. So I agree with what Chest had to just say right now.
A record of 500 on over 100 bets is pretty good. What were the biggest challenges you guys have been facing?
I'll start this one off first. There's one guy that really provided a challenge for us to this day, and his name is Young Bark 74. I'm looking at Young Bark 74 right now through this camera. If he sees me at home, you're the biggest challenge I've had to face. And we've also overcome him recently. Yeah. Some of the stuff he had to say was just plain out
uncalled for.
Yeah. Plain out cruel.
Would you guys say bullying?
I would call it bullying for sure.
I would go there.
He called me Bozo the Clown. He sent a video to me of just after one of my massive losses. He just made fun of me right away. So Young Bark 74 has been the biggest challenge I've had to face.
Sounds like personal attacks.
It's
not
been
even challenging your picks. It's just personal.
It's just personal. It's very personal. I've won 4 bets in a row one time. Couldn't hear a peep. But now all of a sudden I got to hear this guy just bark at every loss of mine. So he's the biggest obstacle I've had to face so far, and I've overcome it. He doesn't.
So I've been hearing whispers that you guys have actually stumbled upon or made your guaranteed pick. What is it?
I would love to let Langston go ahead and go into detail about this because he has been in the lab cooking this up for quite some time. And I've reviewed the notes, I've reviewed the data. It's looking pretty good.
So the game of the year. So recently, I'm going to admit, on this past Sunday, I lost 4 bets in a row. Okay? I lost 4 bets in a row. And there was many people coming at me saying, what a day. Appreciative of my losses. Appreciative that I was losing. Drawing back in the lab. Looking, seeing something, finally finding it. Villanova plus 4.5. But before you make the pick, we're going to wait till Thursday or Friday to try and drive the value up to plus 5 or plus 5.5. Justin Moore recently got hurt on Villanova in the Elite Eight. He is out, tore his Achilles. But
It's big.
the number one reason why I trust this pick is because they have the best coach in college basketball, Jay Wright. I don't want to hear Coach K because of his stupid little retirement thing. It's pissing me off.
Sucks.
Just pissing me off, okay? This guy is the best coach in college basketball. Jay Wright, okay? They also have Mr. Colin. Help me out with the name. Help me out with the pronunciation.
Colin
Gillespie?
Gillespie?
Gillespie. Colin Gillespie.
Gypsy.
Yes, the gypsy.
What makes Mr. Wright the best coach? Why is he the best?
What makes him the best coach? He's the best X and O's coach in college basketball.
So he's drawing up plays.
And he's brought a different culture to Villanova ever since he came there. He's the most consistent coach, always going to the Sweet 16, always going to the Elite Eight. This guy is going to get them the points to at least cover this game. Without Justin Moore, who I'll admit is a good player, averages almost 15 points a game, but they still have the pieces, they have the coach to still get it done. Kansas, I am not a huge believer in Kansas. Everyone knows my Providence pick. They got rigged. It was dumb, okay? We should have won that game, and they should have went to the Final Four. I hold a grudge against Kansas. They're not that great. They will cover plus 4.5. Game of our lives.
I would also say Villanova has that mentality of the next man up. You know, someone comes down, someone else steps in their shoes, fills out their role to a T. Like Langston was saying, Jay Wright can find those players, fit them in properly. It doesn't even have to just be one player. It could be many players filling the role as more. So
is this a joint pick? This is
a joint pick between Langston and Chest. I would have to actually say Langston came with me with the research and findings of it, and I reviewed the notes, and I wholeheartedly agree with that 100%. So, yes, joint pick.
So your guaranteed pick is
Villanova plus 4.5, but it's bound to go up with a nice.
So
not
be
nice.
patient.
You wait till Thursday, or Friday actually, the game is on Saturday. You wait till Friday, see if the value goes up to plus 5 or 5.5, and then take that.
What happens if value goes down?
Then we're in a sticky situation.
That's not going to happen.
We have a lot of analysts coming up to us, a lot of people coming up to us telling us that the value will increase and not decrease. So we're trusting their opinion.
I understand that you've hit a bit of a dry spell recently. How do you plan to overcome or turn around the ship? Maybe you guys could even make your NBA Finals pick right here on Piazza Research.
I think some of the biggest obstacles of overcoming this dry spell is just to have the tenacity and courage to just keep continuing.
Yeah.
Like Nick said, we have haters. We have our fair share of haters.
Yeah.
I would say actually more than 50% of our fan base are actually haters.
Most people follow us just to hate on us.
Just to hate. So that actually gives us motivation to continue to work out a spite to show them, hey, we could do this.
Dang.
So piggybacking off of that, I would have to say I was actually listening to a few of your previous episodes before, and I like your mindset. I would have to agree with the Bucks winning the NBA championship.
Let's go. That's who I have. At plus
Yeah.
700, best team, top to bottom. Depth,
Absolutely.
best player,
They've been there before.
silky smooth, Chris Middleton. Best.
They just know how to win.
Who's your pick?
So this is where I'm going to defer. I'm going to take the Phoenix Suns. Plus 290, the favorite, but they are unstoppable right now. They got the point guard, CP3. Devin Booker is coming
Fresh
back
off
for
the street.
revenge. And I am going to take the Phoenix Suns plus 290 to win it all. But I do like the Bucks to win the Eastern Conference at plus 300.
I also took the Bucks plus 300 in the Eastern Conference to hedge my bet in case something happens in the finals.
I do like that because James Harden and the Sixers are not going to win. That guy chokes every playoff series.
Whoa, I like the Sixers too. I mean that.
No, I'm telling you, I was a James Harden fan, but he's going to probably choke in the playoffs.
Who's my-
I promise you, they will not make it.
Okay. To the Eastern Conference?
They won't make it to the NBA Finals.
Okay. I understand that you recently changed your name on Twitter from the Locksmiths to the Locksmith. Do you care to explain?
I would love to explain. So,
Is there tension? Is there tension?
This is some BS. I don't know who said this.
I'll explain. So, you know how I was talking about in the beginning how I reached out to Nick to, create the perfect union that is called the Locksmiths now. Locksmiths. I didn't know Locksmith was one person. But anyway, that's neither here or there. We created the idea together, and we went in fully to create this Twitter page called the Locksmiths, at McLaughlin, by the way. A few months go by, sports are coming down. It's only baseball, and so I'm not betting as much, and neither is he. He sneakily went into the Twitter page, because we both have, the password and everything, and he went ahead and changed the name because I wasn't making any picks. As you can see with his actual overall record, I will admit he has made many more picks than I have, but I am still there in spirit, reviewing the tape. I'm going to find the best picks. It's not about quantity, it's about quality. And that's what my partner and I disagree on, apparently, because it seems like he tried to kick me out. He was one step away from changing the password. So I'll let him defend himself, but I already know it's bullshit.
Jess, that seems like a fair point. What do you think about that, Langston?
I'm happy you brought this up, Piazza, because this is just some BS that Ian McDonough started. If you're watching right now, if you created this tension right now. So, no. Ian started all this. It has always been the Locksmith. It has never been the Locksmiths. I have never changed it. I said swear to God multiple times. Okay? So I don't know where this is coming from, but it has always been the Locksmith.
Wait, Langston, so you're saying that it's always been the Locksmith?
It has always been the Locksmith.
Singular?
We combine to form the Locksmith.
If I pay for a web archive service and fully download it, I will look through our old Twitter and find the Locksmiths.
And you will find that I've never changed it.
Interesting.
There you have it, folks. Chest is taking the Milwaukee Bucks, and Langston is taking the Phoenix Suns for the NBA Finals. Their joint mind is taking Villanova as their guaranteed pick for the year. And you can follow them at Mick Lockinson on Twitter, and be sure to subscribe to Piazza Research. Have a good night.